In terms of developing a culture as a team or a club, I mean, how patient are you as a captain to getting everybody on board? Have you ever had an experience of one person on the team or a minority within in a group simply not buying into what the committee's trying to do or the leadership is trying to do?
That's a good question. I think culture is really important for a club. I think culture and identity and kind of having these kind of shared values is something, I think when I first joined Mavs, we didn't really have that. It was kind of a loose collection of people occasionally turning up and training and playing games, and there wasn't that sense of kind of who we are, and that's something we really looked to build over the years. There has been people who haven't fully bought into that, but I tend to think they don't stay around that long. If you're with a group and you don't have the same culture and the same values, especially because it's amateur sport. People are there because they want to have fun, they want to have a good time, and if they don't like the group, then I think there's a lot of reason for them to stick around. So I don't think it's something you can force on people. They really have to buy into it themselves, and if they don't, then yeah, it's kind of a decision up to them to make.
Have you ever succeeded in changing someone's mind where they've been quite against something which the leadership group or the committee or the captain has been pushing forward, and then they've not liked it, and then you've gone, actually, this is what you should do it?
Yeah, I think certainly in terms of playing style. So korfball, the kind of strategies and tactics have evolved quite a lot over the last since I've started playing. When I started playing, there was a very kind of rigid way of setting up your team, and it seemed like pretty much every team would do that, and it would just be a case of who then executed that strategy the best, or who had the best players who would win matches. I think things have changed. There's been a lot more innovation in terms of coaching, and we kind of there was a point as a coach that we looked to change our style quite a lot, to go from that more rigid structure to something a bit more, I guess, expressive and a little bit more reliant on individual players to create things rather than just work to the same structure every time. And certainly in that move, there were people who were really used to one way of playing who were a bit resistant to that idea. But I think it's, you've got to show them by doing, and show the benefits and advantages of the thing that you're pushing. And, hopefully you can get that buy-in from people that, initially they may be uncomfortable with changing style, but that, if they can see that the results back up what you're doing. And at first they didn't. We had a season where we didn't reach our potential because we changed our style of play. But, towards the end of that season, you could see we were beating teams who we would have often lost to before. And that allowed us to show players, this is the way to go. And yeah, I guess it's the case you kind of have to put your money where your mouth is at some point.
How do you cope with that? And how long should you be patient with this? How much do you use the carrot? How much do you use the stick? And what is there a sliding scale there? How long do you wait?
It's a tough one, because obviously if you're doing something one way and it's not leading to results, people aren't going to be happy. People play competitive sport because they want to win, and if you're not winning, then it's definitely, for me, it's definitely less fun. But I think for me it's all about the kind of the carrot and the player development as well. Like a big thing of when you're pushing people is you're offering them a chance to learn a new thing, and I think you have to really kind of emphasize that side of it, that they will be a better player by learning to play a new system, by learning to do things differently. And that might be something that helps them move on with their career. They might move to play for the national team, stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's certainly difficult, especially for people who've been used to winning, if you're introducing a new system or strategy or something that changes that. But I think hopefully as a coach or captain that you have a certain level of credibility, and that's why you're in the role, and you kind of rely on that to get people to keep following you, even when in the moment, maybe it doesn't seem like it's in their best interest.
It sounds like you're talking about showing clear targets to achieve, perhaps at sliding scale, and allowing people to achieve things. And
exactly, yeah, I think it's that thing of, you know, it's setting targets, kind of larger targets for the team, but then also individual targets for people. Like we do like to kind of do one-on-one training with people. We like to kind of give people goals for the kind of forthcoming season, and kind of break things down into kind of small parts. I think, you know, I think all sports is basically a series of kind of small decisions that add up to your results. So if you can focus on those little things and doing those little things well, and keep improving and keep improving, then eventually you'll see the larger result change for the positive. And it's, you know, teaching people to take pride and find joy in becoming better in small ways. That's a really kind of helpful thing to do.